Yo, what's going on, people? I make this video at a risk that part 437 of Romelu Lukaku's interview with Sky Sports Italy will be released, and I'll miss out further context. This freaking interview, bro, segment by segment is being released, and he's like, brother, I love Chelsea, to no way, back to Inter, I should have never have left. Look, mate, welcome back to Football Therapy. I'm not going to be sensational. I jest there. Romelu Lukaku remains Chelsea striker who cost £100 million and is very good at football and is a Chelsea fan. But despite that, he's dropped a howler here. Big time. I'm going to speak about further quotes, regardless to your position on Romelu Lukaku, and I'm going to try and be impartial. There is problems. I made a video after Thomas Tuchel's response this morning, and that was in regards to the original quotes, which, by the way, we thought weren't that bad in the end, because Fabrizio Romano looks to have spun a story. Since then, more quotes have come out, and again, don't shoot the messenger. Look at Twitter, it's far worse than anything I'm going to say. I'm going to react to, yes, again, quotes that's been cited from Fabrizio Romano. Again, the whole interview isn't out, but these are reported quotes, things that he's been said, not just coming from Fabrizio Romano, but from other sources. There are large parts of the interview out there. Again, apologies, I'm under the weather at the moment. I've got a sore throat, so I'm going to be sipping tea along the way. That is good. So, I'm going to read you some quotes, and it's going to blow your mind, and then we're going to talk about it and talk about where he goes from here. So, this is from Fabrizio Romano. This is another quote. Bearing in mind, contextually, he's made this interview, by all accounts, behind Chelsea's back to try and create an emotional repair with the Inter fans. Maybe to open up a route back to Inter. I don't know. I can't speculate on that. But that was his intention. Seemingly it's backfired. The Inter fans are all more angry than ever, and now the Chelsea fans are too. But as far as I know, at time of recording, from what I've seen, but I can't confirm this, I mean, you'd imagine this is the case, Chelsea had no idea he was doing this. It's massively unprofessional. When you belong to a club, you're a high-profile asset to a high-profile club. Generally, they need to know what you're doing. And no one's going to follow him around, but damn, man. So, quote, I'm always thinking, Milano, 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 Milano. Inter fans are the best fans in the world. I love the city, and the best moment of my career was at Inter. I am in love with Italy, Inter in my heart. I'm always thinking Milano, 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 Milano. Inter have the best fans in the world. Even if you do think that, you're employed. I'm going to calm down. You're employed by Chelsea Football Club. You don't do that. You don't just go like, oh, I'm here now. They are the best in the world. You know, those guys, oh man, I want to go back. You just don't. You know, even if he feels like that, I wouldn't be angry with him if he feels like that. But you be professional and respectful. Let's read on, friends. Lukaku to Sky quote, why was the honeymoon at Inter over? I've been a Chelsea supporter since I was a kid. It's my favourite team. Then I went to Chelsea at 18 and it wasn't working, so I always had Chelsea mission challenge in my head. So here comes, welcome back into the situation, to the room, to the conversation, bipolar Lukaku. Yeah, Inter's the best in the world, and they're the best, with the best fans, but I'm a Chelsea fan. Okay, we'll bring this in. Lukaku goes on, in summer 2020, I turned down an offer from Manchester City. It was a higher offer than Chelsea's one. I refused because I couldn't leave Inter just after 1 year. It's the club that saved my career when I was feeling bad at Manchester United. Interesting. I doubt he's lying. This is obviously the summer before Chelsea bought him. Man City have wanted a striker for a while. Yeah, but Lukaku had a really good first season at Inter, and even better second season. So they wanted him, yes, he did have a bad time at Man United. Inter made him better, I understand that. Interesting piece of trivia, at worst, Man City tried to get him and pay a lot of money for him. And by the way, that's not the first time I've heard that Man City tried to get Romelu Lukaku to sign for them over in Manchester. Lukaku to Sky. Last summer, I went to the Inter board and asked for a new contract. I said I'm 28. I wanted to plan my life in Italy with a new deal. But Inter said no. Remember, they were struggling for cash. Maybe there wasn't a economic possibility, but for me it was difficult to accept. Now I get that. He is gone from Manchester United, where he's a bit of a low point in his career. Conte really wanted him still, like he wanted him at Chelsea, and he's been amazing for them 2 years into a 5-year deal. At 28, you want to sign that big deal. I get it, makes sense. I kind of understand that. I sort of, in a way, weird way, sympathise with him there. Lukaku to Sky. There are okay. All right, sit down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to sip my tea before this one. Oh my god! Right. Again, just don't get upset with me in the comments. This is could be cherry picked from Fabrizio Romano in terms of when they were said in the conversation. Like, he could have been posed a question about this. I don't know. Maybe not. But don't shoot the messenger. Lukaku to Sky. There are 3 teams at the top level, and this is blowing my mind. Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Bayern. Right, pause. The top level. What's the top level? Do you mean profile? Because if the top, there's certainly the Spanish giants in profile. And then Bayern Munich are the best team in the world, fine. But Barcelona are in the Europa League, and they're mid-table in La Liga, and they're in financial disarray. I guess he's just talking about profile. Real Madrid aren't at their best either. So, what are you talking about? And also, your current employers, Chelsea, are champions of Europe. There are 3 teams at top level: Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. All the players dream of them. That's the truth. I thought I was going to one of those clubs after Inter. This didn't happen, and I said the only club I can imagine myself is Chelsea. So he's saying he wanted to go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern, but because they can't happen, he went to Chelsea. Let's read on. Quote, last summer, I didn't think about going to Chelsea until they really came in with an offer. Simone Inzaghi behaved really well with me. Can we say that if Inter had offered me a new contract, I would have stayed? Yes. Romelu Lukaku nods 2 times. Again, even if this is true, you're settled at a club, you're happy, you've just won the Scudetto, you want to go on, fine. You're employed by Chelsea Football Club. Again, if this is true, I'm reacting to Fabrizio Romano's quotes here. That's what I'm doing. So, if that's true, you just don't say it, mate. You've just signed for 100 million to Chelsea Football Club, and you're saying, I would have stayed. I would have stayed at Inter. This is riddled with agenda and peculiarity. I just don't get. I can't. I'm lost for words for one of the few times in my life as a person, let alone a content creator or a content creator, let alone a person. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, the mind boggles. I can't. If he said that in an interview, I can't believe he said that. So, should we welcome back into the room bipolar, paradoxical Romelu Lukaku for the next quote? I think we should. Lukaku to Sky. When Chelsea contacted me, it was a challenge for me. Also because it bothered me to have not ever won any Premier League titles in 8 years. It was hard to turn down the chance to return to the Premier League club I supported since I was a child. So why is he doing that? So he's saying Chelsea have come into that. I think they've actually won a Premier League. Chelsea are quite a good team. They could maybe win a Premier League. Me. But then he goes, but I love Chelsea and I've supported them since I was a child. Where's he? His mind is bouncing all over the gaff here. Sky asked him, can we say that you would have stayed at Inter if the club had the economic power to keep the top players? In that case, I would have stayed at Inter 100% last summer. No need to discuss that. But then Conte left, Hakimi left, and there was rumours that the club would be in big trouble. In a way, fair play, mate. You were in a good space, you just won the Scudetto. Yeah, fine. But you don't ever say that. Especially in the situation now he's saying it. Do you know what I mean? And Lukaku again to Sky Sport when asked if he follows Inter games, quote, I always watch Inter games, always, repeats it 6 times. I look at them all. When Inter touch you, it's something different. Oh my god. Bleh. Yeah, I get you're trying to heal the Inter fans. Why? Because you literally want to go back now. Like, now. You can decide there. Lukaku to Sky. Yes, I spoke to Antonio Conte on his personal life. Having him as an opponent will be a challenge. I never won against him. When he left Inter, it hurt me. But I would have stayed at Inter even without him. The problem was the new contract, reiterating. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Lukaku to Sky. If Juventus or AC Milan will call me in the future, never. Never ever again. It's never going to happen. Juventus wanted me long before Inter, but when Conte joined Inter, it was my priority to join them. In Italy, there's only Inter for me. So he's really... What's he doing? Like, it's profound love affair of Inter. Quote, this is this bit, mate. On Lautaro Martinez. Again, this is probably contextual from Fabrizio Romano, how he's delivering it. You know, I haven't seen the interview. I'm not Italian as well, so I can't speak it. Lukaku to Sky Sport. I miss Lautaro Martinez. I could die on the pitch for him since I met him in day one. And then he was, I guess, asked about Martinez to Chelsea to rekindle that relationship. Lautaro Martinez coming here with me at Chelsea in the future? ? No. Lautaro, you can stay in Milan. I'll be back there. And then he laughs, apparently. Brackets laughed. It's just big. What, he comes to my new club? No, don't worry. I'll be back there in a minute, mate. Don't come here. Don't come here. We'll go. I remember this is about loving there. I'm gonna go back there. I'll meet you there, mate. Romelu Lukaku to Sky Sports. If there had been an offer a new contract from Inter as I wanted, we would not be doing this interview now here from London, but quietly from Milano. Brackets. He smiles. Dickhead. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Like, look, mate, this is mad. Like, if they are legitimate quotes, even if they're like, they can't be taken out of context if they're quotes. If they are legitimate quotes, I don't think structurally in sentences and conversationally they could be taken out of context. That is mental. That is mental. Like. That is mental. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if he, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's dropped for Liverpool, and they like huge disciplinary stuff. But at the same time, if he scores a hat trick against the Liverpool and we win, Chelsea fans would probably start to move on very quickly. Football is a fickle sport. Personally, ever since I've become a YouTuber and a content creator, I've tried to cultivate, I love Chelsea and I want Chelsea to win. I'm like a die-hard fan. That's just how I am. But in terms of how I think about players and situations, I have to be a bit more methodical and neutral. And there's just something you learn to cultivate as someone who is a content creator, or I imagine a journalist, right? So I'm going to have to, if Lukaku starts kissing the badge, smiling and celebrating with his teammates, I want Chelsea to win above all. But there is a touch of no one's. I wouldn't. At the same time, I would not be surprised if this is the beginning of the end of Lukaku just after he started. I don't want it to be. I want him to be like, look, I'm just trying to make up to the Inter fans. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I'd probably be like, okay, fine, let's move on, score goals, let's win. But at the same time, I would not be surprised at all if this takes a nasty turn, because. What's his teammates got to think? I know some fans around world football of Chelsea like mock people who love the academy, and online they call them Cobham sexuals. I do personally. I'm not going to get involved in arguments. I love academy players because there's since they were under 6 years old, they had people like John Terry coming over, watching them, giving them advice, and they learnt about Chelsea. They learnt about Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Cole, Ballack, Sen, Makalele, and they became part of their fabrication and cultivation as Chelsea players, so they connected to the shirt. That is, Mason Mount loves Chelsea. Reece James loves Chelsea. Look at Reece James when he's taking the shirt off, showing them the badge and like pointing them, and he loves it. He's built for Chelsea. They never speak out against Chelsea. They understand. That's important. But I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to, cause rifts or whatever. Leave up to you guys to discuss. It's an absolute madness. Keep it locked to Football Therapy. Make sure the bell notifications icon is turned on when you subscribe. Hey? And drop a like, friends. It helps me out a lot. Cheers. Peace.